I would like to discuss a very important issue that has seemingly left from the forefront of mainstream discourse. It was a very prevalent topic not very long ago, but the topic in itself has completely disappeared, and that is the issue of patent protections on vaccines. Now, before I get into my commentary, I came across a very astounding video on Twitter of animals, at-risk animals, being vaccinated of COVID-19. Take a look at this, and then I'll talk about it. Now, okay, before I get into this, I just want to explain I am by no means in this video going to crusade against the animals, okay? If you are an animal rights person or consider yourself a person that really values the life of any particular animal, don't worry. I'm not mad at the skunk, okay? I'm not mad at the horses or cows or whoever the hell these people in Tampa are vaccinating. But these are people that work at a Tampa zoo that are vaccinating animals, and it just kind of disgusted me a little bit. I'll be completely honest, it did. Not because they're vaccinating animals necessarily, but because we have these patent protections on the vaccine, and so many people in different countries around the world can't receive the vaccine, can't receive this medication because of these patent protections. And Joe Biden and other prominent politicians recently as several months ago, gave lip service to, oh, you know, we'll see about it. We'll look at the vaccines and we should get these things lifted. And they've yet to do anything about it. You've heard not anything about these patent protections since then. And they're still in place. And this is what happens when you have a profit motive surrounding healthcare, surrounding drugs, okay? If it doesn't make them any money, they're not going to do anything about it. And you have these quote-unquote humanitarians like Bill Gates that outright oppose lifting patent protections because I'm going to tell you why. It would cut into the profits of Big Pharma, right? Okay, it's not profitable for them to lift the patent protections so people in other countries, less wealthy countries, that actually have the technology, that have the means, that have the scientists, the doctors to create the vaccines and administer them to the people that need them so that they don't die. Need I remind you that if you contract COVID-19, you are at risk of death, and that's currently happening because these patent protections are not lifted. They have the necessary means to do it. They have the labs, they have the facilities, all the rest of it. But these patent protections are there so they can't manufacture vaccines. They can't get the quote-unquote recipe in order to do it, and they're at risk of being sued. It's absolutely insane. It's immoral. I mean, this is anti-humanity. This can be likened to genocide. I mean, that's essentially what you're causing when you don't allow people to get a vaccine that would otherwise prevent them from dying. But look how good we have it here. The vaccine is free. You can go get it at your local, I don't know, CVS, Walgreens, whatever you have near you, right? Publix, whatever. And I mean, it's so easily attained, we can vaccinate animals. But as far as people that are in different areas of the world that can't receive it because of these patent protections, they're just kind of left out to dry. And it's kind of like, fuck them. You know, that's the sentiment that we get. And nobody is raising hell about this. Nobody's saying anything about it. I genuinely don't understand it. And let me explain something to you before I leave. The patent protections, these Bill Gates and others, these big billionaires, the richest people in the world, right? You know, they'll say, oh, we are donating, I'll just throw out a random number, 300 million shots. You know, we're going to give them to India or something like that. You hear that number and you go, wow, that's a pretty large, that's a lot of shots. What good for him? No, it's grandstanding. First of all, a lot of these numbers that they're throwing out are incredibly inadequate. Need I remind you that the population of this world exceeds billions of individuals. okay? Which means we need billions of shots, not a couple 100 million or whatever you think you want to put out there to make you look good. And that's all this is. That's all this is. It's positive press for the people with the most money and power as they continue to shield big pharma so that they can continue to make their profits. Because, you know, if you're pro-human life and you want to save people from a viral disease, because we're still in a viral pandemic, I might add, you do these sorts of things. And it's incredibly immoral. It's absolutely ridiculous. And somebody needs to step up and say something about it. But something tells me that they won't.